Pepsi shirt? What is that? Oh, it's Demon's Tilt. I gotcha. I'm wearing Caldor. Welcome to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast for March 29th of Tuesday, 2022. We've sprung forward. We're in spring. That's Ian. I'm Pat. On the show today, we'll be unboxing lots of fun, and we'll be talking about an unboxing. PlayStation Plus revealed their tiers and prices. Breath of the Wild, and other goodness. DMCA, Bungie stuff. Fun times. You have fun this weekend, Ian?
I did. I went to a bunch of the museums in Balboa Park with Vonnie.
The Museum of Man?
No, didn't do that
History?
one this year. We did the so we went to the Fleet Science Center, which didn't really have any thing going on, and honestly, kind of a letdown when there's nothing going on there.
I haven't been there ever. That one.
It's small. It's definitely more aimed towards kids, and I'm sure kids have fun there. But even looking at it from the angle of the kids, there's not a specific exhibit there. Okay. I went there once before for the video game exhibit that was there for a year and a half. Everyone talked about it.
And that was okay?
And that was okay. But yeah, this was whatever, kind of small. Went back to the Natural History Museum, which I love.
That's nice.
The fourth floor had an exhibit on California wildflowers and how climate change was affecting them, and that was something that was right up my alley. We were walking by the Nat, and they had a banner hanging outside for the exhibit, and we were like, I
love those banners.
I was like, I want to go do that.
I love the banners outside of History Museum. I remember the Natural History Museum in New York, the big one. Have you ever been to that one?
No.
Wow, that's the one that has the famous big giant fucking elephant thing out front.
I'd love to go. I love natural history museums like that.
That was the best trips ever. The trips from school we went to the Natural History Museum every 2-3 years were always the best.
So that one was cool. And it's great to have the Balboa Park Explorers Pass because these museums, they're $20 a person for admission. Yeah. The pass, you flash it, you go up to the fourth floor, you enjoy the exhibit that you want to see, and you leave.
Oh, it's a day pass for all the.
No, we have the year pass.
Oh.
For all of the museums at Balboa. It's called the Explorers Pass.
I should get that. Just force myself to go to the museums.
The art museum's really nice too. And then we went to the Mingei International Folk Arts Museum, and that one was awesome too.
I think I was to the regular art one. I don't think I was to that one before.
So yeah, good weekend there, and then. Yeah, it was excellent, and I played a lot of Kirby, which we'll talk about shortly. What did you do?
Talk about it now if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Kirby, how was Kirby?
Kirby in the Forgotten Land came out, and
Kirby in the bombed out mall.
And I was super excited and looking forward to this. They had shown the previews, and people were like, "Well, great, it's a 3D Kirby game, and this environment looks interesting, post-apocalyptic, in a Kirby way." And they introduced, in some of the previews, the new mouthful mode, which I was afraid might be too gimmicky. The mouthful mode is where Kirby inhales something and doesn't inhale it all the way, doesn't digest, and he just keeps the shape of it. So he'll inhale a car, but he'll just be wrapped around the top of it very comically.
Okay.
And then you can drive the car, or he'll inhale a big circle from a sign, like the letter O, and then he can use it to become an air gun or become a sail on a sailboat.
That's an open world area?
No, the levels are pretty much defined as, they're 3D, they're 3D levels, but it's a 3D game, but it's pretty on rails, which is great. I was excited about that. I was kind of afraid open world Kirby wouldn't do it for me. So the gameplay is great. The control is excellent. All of the mouthful mode stuff feels great in the levels. I actually laughed out loud a few times at some of the transformations. They're very, very funny, and the comedy just expressed in the visuals is excellent. The levels themselves are all gorgeous. I even thought the levels, I generally don't like sand levels. sand worlds.
You don't like sand, Ian.
I hate sand in general.
It gets everywhere.
I hate sand. Yeah.
It's so dry.
I'm real Anakin about sand.
Yeah.
But even the sand levels were great. The music is fantastic.
What the fuck was this line?
Music is fantastic. The attention to detail is wild. When it's just really nice to see when Kirby jumps into the water, he gets a little rubber raft floaty around him. And if like you're using certain
part of his body, the raft, or no?
He's just in it.
It's just an inner tube.
He's just in an inner tube. And some of the weapons, even like if you have the bombs, if you throw the bombs, they even get like their own little inner tubes and float around. So there's a lot of detail that's really excellent to see.
Sorry,
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
That's when I was done with episode 2. That was the moment I was done.
Was that actually him?
Yeah,
wow. That line is so bad.
And that's one of they filmed that stuff in Italy. Those scenes of the beautiful architecture and stuff. But like then you have the worst fucking beautiful scenery and the worst fucking dialogue ever put in a film. And I was done with. That's when I realized I was done with Star Wars. At least that I was done. With that romantic subplot in giant quotes.
So I think the Kirby transitioned perfectly into 3D. I loved the game enough that I saw the credits roll last night on it, and I got it Friday.
Wow.
So I played through. Did
you 100% it?
No. And there's obviously stuff afterwards. There's levels that opened up after the main credits. Spoiler, of course, there was only 6 worlds before the main credits roll. But yeah, go out and get it. I think it's one of the best games that's on the Switch, easily. And it's just joyful. It's joyous to play it. It's a happy game.
Well, I'm happy. You're always big into Kirby. You always like it.
Big Kirby guy.
I have to point people to a GoFundMe real quickly. Trevor from Top Loaded Gaming. Their house was destroyed by a tornado from Hurricane Ida. Was that last year? So they have a GoFundMe up. I'll put the link in the description. I threw a few bucks their way. If you can put a couple bucks towards them, that would be very helpful to get them back on their feet there. Trevor, I brought him up. He was one of the only interviews ever of the former CEO, Tommy Tallarico, that actually asked hard-hitting questions. This was like 2 years ago. And he actually made Tommy angry and upset and blustery because I think Tommy realized that this guy's actually asking intelligent, reasonable questions.
Right.
And it isn't just going to, virtually fillet me for the interview because I'm a quote-unquote industry legend. So I'll put the link in the chat if you're watching on YouTube or below for Trevor there. My weekend was setting up the new old iPhone X that Alex gave me. We talked about a little bit on the exclusive patreon.com/CU podcast exclusive video this week of the podcast. And I don't know, I had sort of like a recovery weekend, which has been a lot more of them recently. I'm like booking flights and getting stuff in order for the weekend, and I have this something looming over my head, and it's an N64 book that like I have to work on April. Like I'm gonna dive in and really work on this book, and it's like I'm not running from it, but it's dreadful. It's like it's over my head working on this book, which is funny because like most of the hard work is done, and now it's just putting it together. But it's like I'm getting too old for it. I feel like Danny Glover. I'm getting too old for it. I'm getting too old for it. Getting too old for it, Ian.
Real quick, I want to point out it's not on our docket, but I've been thinking about this, and we have an answer. Playdate is shipping soon.
Oh,
Playdate is. I was starting to wonder because they said early 2022, which to me would mean end of first quarter, and it is just about the end of the first quarter.
Okay, it is, yeah.
So Playdate said yesterday, as we hurtle towards the end of early 2022, a quick Playdate update. Group 1's batch of brand new shiny Playdates are on their way to our fulfillment center in California as we speak. They still need to be processed and gradually shipped, but it's almost time. Thanks for your patience. We only speak when there's news because otherwise it would be a wild roller coaster for you. Our logistics company got hacked. Shipments froze. Our battery factory closed for weeks because of COVID, etc. But we're working hard every single day. And then next, we'll be emailing everyone in Group 1 to make sure your mailing addresses are valid. Please keep an eye out for that.
So you're in Group 1, so
yes, I am.
You're going to get
Matter of fact, I am checking my email right now.
I'm in that group too. I had to go to Sprouts that morning and shop. Otherwise, I would have been in Group 1. I just missed it. Wow, the logistics got hacked?
Yeah. It's a bummer.
Who's hacking dear old Panic over there?
Yeah.
For the Playdate. I like they said that. Yeah, we're not going to give you an update until we know our shit's in order. Yeah. Otherwise, it turns into PR nightmares.
Yep.
Obviously, we've seen examples of that happening. You go the Fire Pro method. Hey, it's done. It's coming out in like 4 weeks.
Yep, exactly.
That's it. You got it. It's coming out. Yep. That's what it is.
Well, except for the most recent one. But I remember D, Z, all of those dropped super quick.
Yeah, you had no idea they're coming out. It's like,
here it is.
Let's just Google it or whatever. All the web it back then or Lycos it back in '98. Oh, it's coming out. Ask Jeeves it.
Hotbot.
Hotbot. That was one.
Which one was the dog?
That was Lycos.
That was Lycos. Okay.
Webcrawler was
Webcrawler was like the original
one.
one that I used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you realize, holy shit, this is awful. And then Google came in and sort of like streamlined it and had better results. I remember all the web being a good one because it reached the far reaches of the web. All the web. You can find some shit you can find. Back then there was like 17 different search engines and they all had different algorithms. Obviously Google won out. And now we just have Google and Bing. I don't know what else we even have anymore for searching. Anyway.
Yeah, Google, Bing.
So another announcement, a delay now because Nintendo game development's a little bit different, but Breath of the Wild just announced this morning the sequel was pushed back to spring 2023. Originally they wanted to come out this year, and they said sorry, it's not going to happen.
Did they ever officially announce it? I'm not trying to make excuses. I think everyone assumed it was coming, but I don't know that it was ever solidly announced it's coming this Christmas.
I mean, they originally announced this thing like a year and a half ago.
Sure.
So I mean, like, more almost with footage, and so like, it's fine. You had what's this guy producer EJ Ionuma. He said, "Hey, it's coming. Sorry about that. Whoops." That's him. They previously announced they were aiming for a 2020 release. Man, Nintendo does not have luck with these announcements with Metroid Prime 4. And
well, Prime is a very different thing, but
Prime that's might be the biggest, I guess, blunder Nintendo ever did. I guess in terms of like
the Virtual Boy.
But I mean, that came out like this has been 5 years since they originally announced Prime 4. I think it's 5 years. I think it's been. And like that's like nowhere to be seen.
Well, they completely restarted it. So.
That's what I mean. Like that's bad. In 5 years, you could God, yeah, that's nuts. So it's been 5 years. Yeah, it was pre-pandemic. That was a long time ago.
Sure.
That original announcement. Anyway, so that's going to be next year. We can wait for stuff. We can wait.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine. It's been a really good year for the Switch, anyways. So. Yep. And there's still stuff to come. I'm not particularly worried about it.
You want to talk PlayStation Plus, Ian?
PlayStation Plus is adding 3 tiers, and I have not seen exactly what the tiers offer, other than they offer retro games. So they're going to start offering their back catalog. This is kind of hot off the heels of what Nintendo did. By including game libraries with various tiers. The big difference is Sony's first-party titles, they've got some good stuff, but it's not like they have the first-party cachet that, Nintendo or Sega or any other company does. They have God of War, Gran Turismo. God of War.
Well, they did say that, at least at the start, unlike the Game Pass or Microsoft, they're not going to do the AAA games day one on Game Pass. On their version of it, on PlayStation Plus, they will not be there day one. They said maybe in the future, I think, but like day one, they need that cash for you to buy that.
Sure.
So these are the tiers they got. It's going to come in June, and it's going to roll up because they used to confuse me the things they had before. The different things are going to roll it all. What was the 2 different things they had?
They used to have PlayStation Plus, which was their online thing, and then they had PlayStation Now, which was their streaming, and some of the games could be downloaded, their streaming service. Now they're combining those and just doing 3 tiers of a service that each tier offers something different.
You get here's the 3 tiers: PlayStation Plus Essential. It's the same PlayStation Plus service that currently exists with no change to the current pricing. What's the current pricing? I don't know.
$60, $50
a year. Okay. It includes 2 monthly downloadable games, discounts, save game, cloud storage, and access to online multiplayer. It's the basic thing you need to function the console.
Right.
Okay. Plus Extra includes a catalog of around 400 PS4 and PS5 games that can be downloaded at any time while you're a member. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
It includes first-party and third-party games, but no new exclusives will launch into the service. It's $15 a month, or $40 quarterly, or $100 yearly. Okay, that's a jump up from the original right there.
New exclusives will launch into the service. Okay.
And then here's the big one: Plus Premium. All the extra, you get all the essential, all the extra benefits, all the 400 games and first-party, third-party games download. And now you get 340 extra games in the catalog, and this is the retro ones. You get PS1, PS2, PSP games for streaming and download, and then PS3 games will also be available, but only to stream. Because they're probably too big to download all of them. I don't know.
No, it's because the PlayStation 3 is fucking weird.
Oh, really? That's why?
It's just weird. You couldn't download them on the PS4, PS Now either. And that's the killer for me. Like, there's a lot of PS3 stuff I'd love to play, but I'm not streaming them.
Streaming can be carried out on PS4, PS5, and PC. Okay, that's cool. You can stream on a PC that's pretty cool to get on the PC. Premium members will also receive time-limited trials of some games. That'll be $18 a month, $50 a quarter, or $120 yearly. So basically, they're saying no one's going to get Plus Extra. You might as well spend $20 more to get all the PS1, PS2, PSP, and PS3 games.
Right.
That's what it is.
That middle tier is usually there to convince people to get the highest tier.
You're either going to go the low tier for $60 a year or whatever it is, and then or $120 to get all the retro games. You're going to get several hundred games between PS1 to PS5, basically. Like, this middle one is useless to me.
Sure.
But that's how they get you, Ian.
That's what I'm saying.
Why get a medium drink when the large is 20 cents more? That's how no one gets the medium drink. You go small or large.
You don't sell the middle tier. You use the middle tier as advertising for the higher tier.
Yeah, that's basically what happened there. So is this something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I would do if and when I eventually get a PS5. I'm not into it for the PS4.
I wonder how great the PC app and service will be. I'm not familiar with it. Obviously Microsoft, that's their bread and butter. Like the PC, so right. Theirs is probably perfect.
No, it's absolutely not perfect. I've talked about that on here. It's not perfect at all. At all. It's actually surprisingly shoddy. So Sony's doesn't have to do a whole lot to make it competitive. My problem is streaming. I'm not into game streaming.
You need a good connection, a solid connection.
Yeah, and I have one, but still, it's just like I hate the yeah.
You just hate the idea of itself.
I don't like the idea. Yeah.
You want to have it like locally.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then
till it's bulletproof.
GTA Plus is now there for $6 a month. Everything's a service. See, a podcast could be a service.
Podcast as service.
Podcast service. So GTA, everything's a plus. GTA Plus is GTA's online new monthly subscription on PS5 and Xbox Series X. For $6 a month, you get extra GTA Online rewards. You get bucks to spend in there. 500,000
delivered automatically.
This is all.
So for the first month of benefits, you get 500,000 plus $500,000. The Principe de Veste 8. Don't fucking care. I don't care about any of this. I see this being. I have not seen how this is being received in the community that plays this game. But I would imagine that it can't be very positive. At this point, this game is so old that I think introducing this is like that final cutoff for the hardcores. And the people who are really into this are going to buy this, and the people who don't are going to fade away.
Because they're already spending money probably in games, so why not get this?
Right, why not get this? And the people who don't get it are probably the ones who are like, maybe I've had my run with this and I don't need to. Because I have a feeling these bonuses are really going to set the people who do pay apart from the pack.
What's this car meet thing? Opportunity to win a vehicle and you get exclusive merch, tattoos, and modding shops. This is virtual, right? This stuff is virtual. So there's a car meet up in the game with your car in these contests.
I don't know, man.
And so, but anyway, you get your with this subscription that fee is waived. And I get this is like The Sims. This is like The Sims to me. This is you're living out all because it's okay. This is weird. Yacht owners can upgrade to the Aquarius Super Yacht at no additional cost. The Gusset Frog Tee and Broker Prolapse basketball top and shorts automatically added to your wardrobe. This is, like I said, this is a whole subculture I'm not familiar with. The GTA, like, this is weird to me. I'm reading about this stuff, and it's just, okay. 2 times car meet rep on the Street Race series. Wow, they really built out this universe.
Yeah.
This is, okay.
So
all this stuff you can do. Broker Prolapse basketball top and shorts. Prolapse can mean a couple different things.
Yep. Yeah, it can.
Okay. Well, you don't need a subscription at ultimatenintendo.com.
No, you don't.
But if you want to buy something, you get something in return for it directly, like the T-shirts, the limited T-shirt, and others. We have the Yoshi. There's less than 10 left. Combat print signed by CG artist extraordinaire, my friend Yoshi, worked on Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Walking Dead, and other stuff there. You got the RBI baseball stickers, you got the enamel pins, and the books, of course, all at ultimatenintendo.com. My 100th stream happened last week. Ian showed up for a minute and a half at twitch.tv/country code.
I was in an Uber.
You didn't listen to it. You just said hi, everyone, and left.
Yeah, I chatted for the length of my Uber ride.
You didn't hear me do my little party thing.
No.
The horn.
No.
It was fun. 101's happening this Wednesday. It's a lot of fun. And I will be finally coming to the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My first time in Wisconsin. That is April 30th and May 1st. This is years in the making. They were supposed to invite me out, and then I finally got invited out in 2020, and then a little pandemic happened and everything got canceled.
Right.
I already had booked my flight and everything, so I'm looking forward to it. My pal Norm will be there with me. No news yet if he's going to be a roommate or not there. So there you go. I'm also on Cameo, cameo.com/
No news yet whether we're sharing a bed, bunking.
Oh no, they're nice rooms there. They're going to put us up.
I know. I'm just thinking it's funny that you're like, no news yet on whether we're roommates.
No news yet, because people don't love our relationship as roommates.
People love our relationship.
Yeah, it's a sitcom. You want to talk about Bungie, Ian?
Yeah, so this was interesting. This was brought to our attention.
No, you brought it to my attention this morning.
Well, it was brought to my attention this morning, and I brought it to your attention.
Yeah.
So Bungie is getting they've got some nasty words for YouTube regarding their lousy DMCA security loophole, customer service, the fact that takedowns essentially on YouTube are way too easy. So what happened is, here's the gist as far as I can tell. Destiny 2 is free to play Bungie really wants to encourage a community there, because obviously with a free-to-play game, the best way to get money from your customers is to encourage a community. Then they buy into the products as they're playing.
Yeah, it's free advertising.
It's free advertising.
Yeah.
So Bungie, I guess, has been trying to promote some user-created content. And I guess they got into some hot water late last year or earlier this year for some takedown stuff, community takedown stuff. And they were like, okay, we're going to change our ways. This is how it's going to work. Well, someone went and created, or multiple people went and created some accounts that looked like Bungie accounts, and then issued a bunch of DMCA takedown notices to player created content. Some of it, I believe, even on Bungie's own channel, and got the stuff wrongfully taken down. This, of course, caused a huge backlash against Bungie, who had been in hot water for this prior and had come out and said, hey, we're going to make this right. We really do want this user created content. So Bungie is pissed. And Bungie is now filing a lawsuit against 10 unnamed individuals for basic, I think it's like basically defamation, damage to the company image.
They committed fraud.
Exactly. Yeah. So these people are definitely going to have the law, and they have been very angry with YouTube over the fact that it's way too easy to be any little shit essentially can go and issue a DMCA takedown. And a lot of the time, YouTube is going to issue it because it's a more or less automated process.
Yeah.
Bungie said that it took them, and they're Bungie. They have money. It took them.
Company, yeah.
It took them all weekend to get the thing sorted out. They had to go through multiple layers. They said they, of course, got the copyright strikes and the takedown strikes against these creators reversed. They got the videos back up, but it was a weekend-long process for them. And I mean, like I said. This is Bungie. If it took them all weekend, imagine you have no shot in hell if you're just a regular person.
They used looks like one of our individuals used a Gmail address modeled after those used by one of Bungie's IP protection partners to send out a wave of DMCA takedown notices against videos that weren't actually infringing any of its policies. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The same address was then used to send messages to content creators claiming that authentic takedown notices issued previously were in fact fraudulent. The defendants also allegedly sent abusive messages to the Bungie's legitimate IP protection partner. Oh boy, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. You can't do this shit and don't think it coming like Bungie's not going to sit idly by. So
it'll be interesting to see if YouTube does anything at all. I mean, I don't know that they will, but I mean, now you've got this big company, calling you out for these problems, and I mean that's unfortunately a lot of times what we need to. See changes in this sort of stuff. The
lawsuit includes a step-by-step breakdown of Bungie's efforts to stop and reverse the false takedowns, a weekend-long litany of escalation and runaround that will likely sound familiar to anyone who's ever had to deal with customer service at a large distant company. Yeah, that's the thing about YouTube. It sounds like it's run as like a tech company, like, oh, we do tech, and then like customer support and what actually is using the platform is like secondary. It's like we don't concern ourselves with that. It's all the tech and everything. That's at least what I've heard about, like the inside skinning of how it actually operates. Like it's like they're like just like blissfully unaware of how the platform is actually used.
Really?
Like at least like in general, like that's just how it is. It's like there's a disconnect.
Sure.
Between that, you have like the high end tech part, and then it's almost an afterthought. The rest. Oh, I've been on. This has happened to me before.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it eventually. It has to do with a later topic, a certain console. Oh, this happened to me for several videos.
Speaking of disconnects, a popular Steam game on March 22nd. So, Storybook Brawl is, and I've seen it, I've never played it, is a popular free-to-play card game on Steam. I've seen it advertised to me. I like card games. I've even considered playing it before. I never have. But it has a large and active player base. It had very positive reviews. Had very positive reviews. On March 22nd, Good Luck Games was acquired by FTX US, which is a cryptocurrency exchange. They bought the game and just outright said, they see games as an exciting use case for crypto, and Storybook Brawl is going to go in that direction. Their ideas for Storybook Brawl are, of course, extremely vague because all details for NFT projects are. They talk about how they'll make sure this is from an article by Zach Zweisen. They'll make sure that the integration is ethical and it will make the game better for players while making sure the fun comes first. And then he goes on to say the same thing I did. Vague promises and non-specific plans are always part of the NFT blockchain announcements. They are. There's never anything concrete. There's never a concrete roadmap. I'm
looking at the reviews, overwhelmingly negative the recent reviews on Steam.
So it got review bombed. It's now near universally negative. They're going to lose everyone. Good Luck Games. They made their money, but that game is officially, I mean, it's dead. There's already people, talking about how dead the game is, and it's time to move on and find something else. This is It's just stop. And this is the thing that gets me. March 22nd. We haven't really talked about NFTs recently because honestly, the NFT craze seems to be
It's cratering.
Yeah. At GDC, I heard two sides of the opinion, or two sides of the coin.
Oh.
Friend of the podcast, Daniel Greenberg, said that there was a lot of booths there, but no one was interacting with the NFT booths. No one cared. Then there was someone else I said that despite the fact that no one cares, there is still a lot of talk at GDC from a certain sector about pushing this. So they're probably going to try to do it for a little bit longer.
They're in the minority.
But this is an example of how unpopular this is, that you can take an extremely popular free-to-play game, say you're going to add NFTs to it, and completely kill it. It's dead.
Even if we'll just say 10%, 15% of games implement some form of NFT bullshit, the only buy-in is going to be people that love the idea of NFTs. So the games will never be, unless it's like every person that likes NFT will flock to those certain games. Everyone else, like these people, are gonna be like, "Fuck this, I'm done. You lost me."
Right.
This is not gonna. You're not gonna turn the tide. You're not.
And as we've reported on here before, and other
they've done
articles have reported, you only have an audience of about 400,000 active NFT traders, people who are interested in NFTs.
At the peak. We don't know what it is now.
The peak, right? Yeah. So you're limiting your player base,
or you have to try to indoctrinate new players, but
which at this point is not going to work. I have in my life, I don't think I've ever seen such a universal revulsion to something like that they tried to sell to us.
Not recommended. The developer was recently, this is comments on Steam. The developer was recently bought out by crypto company FTX that plans to use the game as a test bed for NFT monetization strategies. No thanks, not recommended. Good Luck Games was acquired by FTX, a cryptocurrency company. This is a larger conversation about Good Luck Games selling it, knowing that their game was going to be destroyed.
Yes, that's also something else.
Obviously, they got money. But like, it's really a conundrum. I'm gonna ruin the game we put all our blood, sweat, and tears into that people enjoy. That's a sellout. You're selling out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because it's not like, I can't imagine them being like, oh, the game's gonna be better after this sale. No, you got paid out. You're done. That's selling out.
Yes.
In the truest sense of the word.
Oh yeah.
You've given up on your property. Like, we're not gonna do any more versions. We're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, we're done.
We're out.
We know our audience is gonna fucking hate this. We're going to lose our player
But we
base.
don't care.
The game is done.
I mean, honestly, not surprised to see that attitude from a free-to-play game company.
I get it, but like,
No, I mean, I just...
It's despicable. The time of the game was like, that was always the intent of the game. Then I'm like, okay, I get it. It's shitty, but that was the intent. This is like, you're throwing your fans under the bus.
Right.
On it there. It's also free-to-play, Ian.
Tell me, Patrick.
Hater by Gator Ooze, who's now done 3 different Intellivision Amico styled games. Remember, they did originally did Hater Smash, which was their Astro Smash clone, created in a day. Then they did recommended by a certain podcast, Han Ipich's 10 stages of crowdfunding or investment, whatever it was. And now there's Hater. I'm looking at the video on YouTube that Ninja Kitty posted. Hater is Shark that was made in one day that honestly looks better than the Intellivision Amico. And I'm not saying that.
It doesn't look like a bunch of assets slapped together.
It's not like you say kit bashed.
Yeah.
This is assets that look like they belong together. It's a very simple graphic style, or simpler graphic style, not garish, and it all fits together. And it's Shark, the most simple game. You run around and you basically eat things, and you're a bigger fish and you avoid sharks. That's Shark.
Yep.
So I don't know. Can we get a whole suite of these games and put them on Steam? That would be very interesting. And call it, I don't know, like the Hater Pack.
The Hater Pack, yeah.
You know what I mean? That could be interesting. Maybe we'd have like a CU podcast game in here. But anyway, so it's just interesting to see that it really shows you how, like, the fact that people can put these games together quickly is great. Obviously, it's a lot easier nowadays with Unity to do stuff like that. But it more shows you just how shallow the games are that you were expected to spend $250 to $300 for a console to get, when someone could release a game for free in a day that is the same exact gameplay and honestly looks better.
Yep.
So